Hi everyone, welcome back. Sophie here, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today's practice is called Off the Long Road. It's a lovely slow flow focused on opening out into those hips. If you're following along with the challenge, this is day number 3. And if you're following along with the playlist, we're going to hit play in 3, 2, 1. So settling down on our backs, we're going to bring the soles of our feet together, let our feet fall out wide. And just softening into the body, maybe taking one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. And as we arrive here, just really notice how the body's feeling. And if, like me, you're practicing this flow after a long day traveling, perhaps in the car, on a plane or a train, it's after traveling that we can feel really quite stiff in our body, maintaining one still position. So I really invite you to be kind to yourself today. We're really going to try and use that rhythm of our own breath to soften into some slower, some juicier movements. So on that note, we're going to take 3 clearing and collective breaths together. Together we inhale through the nose. And then audibly exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose. And then really sigh it out. Finally, the deepest breath you've taken all day. Inhaling through the nose. And then really sigh it out. Together we release the bind, draw the hands to the outer edges of those knees. We're going to squeeze those knees in towards our chest and just give them a little rock from side to side, just massaging that lower spine. We'll then bring one hand to each knee, draw the knees in towards the chest, and then take them outwards in nice big circular motions. So pressing the lower spine into the earth as you really work into that hip space. And if, like me, you've been sitting down all day, maybe this feels super sticky. So really just taking it in your own time, your own breath. When you're ready, floating those legs up towards the sky, deeply bend the knees in towards the armpits. Take hold of the outer edges of the feet, the calves or the ankles, coming into a little happy baby here. And you're welcome to find a little bit of movement, maybe rocking from side to side, just massaging the back body on the earth. Together we take a deep inhale here. Exhale, release the bind. Bring the hands to the back of the thighs and just begin to rock and roll up and down your mat. So taking as many rocks as you like here, really softening through the back body, just creating a little bit more space. Eventually we'll come to cross the feet, roll all the way over the knees, arriving in a child's pose. So knees nice and wide, let the toes touch, soften the bottom back towards the heels as the forehead finds the earth here. And maybe again just having a wiggle into those hips, rocking the weight from side to side. Just starting to notice how these first few movements are making you feel. When you're ready, we're going to softly slide those hands underneath the shoulders, draw the knees underneath the hips as we arrive in a tabletop position. So fingers spread nice and wide, shoulders in line with wrists, hips over knees. Just beginning to move through some cat-cows here. So inhale, we look forward, lengthen. Exhale, round the spine, gaze towards the belly. Inhale, we look forward and lengthen, open through that chest. And exhale to round. So moving with these 2 motions in your own breath now. Inhale to come forward. And exhale to round. Maybe you want to start to welcome in a bit of free movement. Maybe rocking a bit from side to side. Maybe sending the weight backwards over those hips. Or maybe it feels good to press that weight forward, really opening into any areas of unwanted tension. We're here for 2 breaths, so don't worry too much about what I'm doing. Really listen to exactly what your body needs today. When you're ready, coming back to a tabletop position, we're going to inhale, extend our right leg. Take a little rock backwards and forwards, feeling that gentle stretch into the calf. On your next inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift that right leg. We're going to tuck the right knee behind the left. Come to sit the bottom all the way down on the earth. We've arrived in a Gomukhasana cow-facing pose. So this can be super intense on the hips. So use blocks to prop under your knees or shuffle those feet a little further in towards the body if this feels super tight. Hands can come to blocks or to the earth. We're going to inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, take a little forward fold here. Slightly drawing the chin towards that knee as you feel the deep opening in the outer edges of those glutes. Now, this is possibly one of the most uncomfortable postures in yoga that I find anyway, so don't worry if it feels a little bit sticky here. Trying to breathe into those sensations you might be feeling. And we're here for 3 deep breaths. Final inhale. Exhale, slowly rise back up to seated. We're then going to press those hands forward, pad them to our mat, untangle those legs. Maybe take a little cat-cow, reset the spine, a little wiggle, anything that feels yummy there. And then coming onto the opposite side. So inhale, extend left toes towards the back of the mat. Take that little rock backwards and forwards. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift that left leg, flex the toes. And then tuck that left knee behind the right all the way to the earth. Sit the bottom down, come into that seated cross-legged, that cow-facing pose. So knees are stacked here. If you need a little more and you've got a little bit more flexibility, you can open those feet out to the side a little. But if, like me, you find this a little bit tight, we're going to tuck those feet in. Inhale to lift and lengthen, trying to root down through both sit bones. And then exhale, take that little forward fold, chin towards the knee. Taking 3 deep breaths here in your own time. Final inhale. On your exhale, pad those hands forward, untangle those legs. Give those hips a little wiggle, maybe a cat-cow to reset the spine. Coming back to that tabletop position, we're then going to tuck the toes. Send the tailbone nice and high, softening chest towards the thighs, arriving in our first downward facing. So I invite you to find as much movement as you like here, maybe wiggling that tailbone from left to right, softening through the shoulders. Deep breath here, we inhale. Exhale, can you find a little bit of stillness here? So really root those heels down towards the earth. We're going to inhale, right leg rises high to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee and really open out through that right hip. Gazing underneath that right armpit, but being careful not to dump all the weight into that left shoulder. So try and keep the weight evenly spread between those hands. Option to take some little circles into that right foot, or maybe even swirling that right knee around, creating a little bit of strength and mobility and opening in that right hip. Final inhale here. Exhale, square the hips. Step the right foot to the outer edge of the right hand. We're going to lower that back knee down. Untuck back toes. Come to find our lizard lunge. And I invite you to find a little bit of movement here if that feels quite nice. So maybe rocking a little from side to side. Maybe you stay up on the hands. I don't have any props with me right now, but maybe you want to lower the forearms down to some bricks or blocks, or perhaps even a bolster or a cushion if you have one. If you've got a little bit more room, maybe coming down onto those forearms. Again, just wiggling here, really feeling into the hip space. Again, we're here for 3 deep breaths. Final inhale. On your exhale, patting onto those hands if you're not already there. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee for a moment as we come into a half frog. So we want to lift that back knee, place that right knee on the earth. So really opening out into those hips. Right toes are flexed. Coming down onto those forearms now. So you're in a sphinx position with the upper body. Arms in the number 11 shape, spreading the fingers nice and wide. As you pull the chest forward, you should feel that lovely opening to the inside of that right leg. So breathing here. Shining that chest forward. Maybe you want to close down the eyes. Maybe you want to find a drishti, a focal point. 3 deep breaths. Final inhale. On your exhale, listen carefully. Extend that right hand to the right top corner of your mat. Make sure the arm is extended here. We're then going to thread that left hand to the right knee. Roll all the way over, coming to find a supine twist. So pressing the shoulders onto the earth. Right knee is over now towards the left-hand side. Trying to press both shoulders into the earth as once again we breathe here for 3 more breaths. And you can always take that direction towards that right hand if you want to intensify that twist that little bit more. Final inhale here. On your exhale, start to lie onto your back, dragging that left heel towards the glute. Right foot finds left thigh here. We're coming into a reclined figure 4. So interlacing the hands behind the calf or the thigh, you should feel that deep stretch around the outer edge of that right glute. Flexing both toes to protect those knees, tucking the chin ever so slightly to protect the neck. And again, maybe it feels nice to find a bit of movement here, rocking from side to side. Together we take a deep inhale here. Exhale, release the bind, left foot on the earth. This time left hand to right ankle. Keep the legs in the figure 4. We're going to exhale, come into a little twist here. So nice rolling around on the floor sequence today, taking the gaze again underneath that right armpit as you feel that stretch down the outer edge of that right glute. Three breaths here. Final inhale, we're going to release the bind. Come to lie on our backs, and then we're just going to roll over back onto our belly. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders, lift up for a little baby cobra, engage those glutes. And then exhale, roll all the way back over those knees, tuck the toes. Let's send that tailbone nice and high, downward facing dog. Coming onto that opposite side now. We're going to inhale, left leg rises high to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, open out through the hip. Option to take some little circles into that left foot, maybe even swirling that left knee around. Taking a deep inhale here. And then exhale, square the hips, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Lower that back knee down, untuck back toes, coming into that lizard lunge. And again, maybe rocking from side to side. Perhaps you find your blocks, your bolsters here. Wherever you are, the crown of the head softens towards the earth as you maybe start to introduce that little bit of soft movement. And sometimes these slower, these softer postures can actually feel much more challenging. So perhaps whisper to yourself kindly, I use my breath to release tension. Final inhale, padding up onto those hands. We're going to tuck back toes, lift back knee, come back into that half frog. So left knee down, left foot flex, coming all the way down into that Sphinx position with the upper body, feeling that nice deep opening into that left hip. Pulling the chest forward. Again, maybe closing the eyes or finding that drishti. We take a deep inhale here. Exhale to release. On your next inhale, extend that left hand out to the top left corner of the mat. Right hand threads all the way through to that left knee as you peel all the way open into that easy twist. As you peel all the way open into that spinal twist. Perhaps taking the gaze towards that left arm as you rotate from the center of the spine. And breathing deeply here, trying to place both shoulder blades down on the earth. Final inhale. On your exhale, we're going to roll onto our back, slide that right heel towards the right glute, left foot over the right thigh as we squeeze the legs in towards the chest, coming into that reclined figure four. So both feet are flexed here, tucking the chin towards the chest, flexing both toes. And again, maybe it feels nice to have a little rock, have a little wiggle. And breathing deeply as you soften here. Final inhale. Exhale, release the bind. Keep the legs in the figure four again, and this time the right foot. And this time the right hand comes to the left ankle. Allow the knees to fall over to the right hand side. Perhaps cactusing the left arm and gazing underneath that left armpit. Soft rotation through the center of the spine. We're here for one more inhale. Exhale, release. We're going to draw those knees back to center, untuck the legs, and just roll over onto your belly again. Hands underneath the shoulders, feet, hips, feet as wide as the mat. Inhale, we lift and lengthen to our baby cobra. And then exhale to release. Roll all the way up and back over those knees. Tuck the toes, send the tailbone nice and high into our final downward facing. Taking any wiggles, any sighs, any yawns, any clearing breaths here. Final inhale. On your exhale, gaze forward. Take as many teeny tiny steps as you like to come to find a seated position at the top of your mat. We're going to take those legs nice and wide, peel out the squishy parts of our bottom so we can root down through the sit bones, externally rotating those thighs, toes flexed towards the body. We're going to take a wide-legged forward bend. Now you can take this as actively or as restoratively as you like. Feel free to have bolsters, cushions, blocks at the ready to help support you in this fold. We're going to inhale, lift those arms high towards the sky. Exhale, closing down the eyes, not worrying about how far you go. Come to find a wide-legged forward bend. We're going to be here for 5 deep breaths. So allowing yourself to soften that little bit further with every exhale. Final inhale. On your exhale, pad the hands towards the body. Let's place those hands behind the glutes. Just give those knees a little windscreen wipe from side to side to soften through those hips. Let everything go. And then we're going to draw the soles of the feet together at the top of our mat. Once again, pull out those squishy parts of the bottom so we can reach down through the sit bones. Reach those fingertips forward and slowly lower all the way down to our back. When you get there, perhaps taking hold of opposite elbows above the head, perhaps windshielding those knees from left to right again. As you begin to feel the weight of your body surrendering onto the earth. When you're ready, extending one leg and then the other, coming all the way down to lie on our backs. Palms facing the ceiling, arriving in our closing relaxation, our most important posture of our soft practice today, our Shavasana. And you can either pause me here and enjoy those sensations of stillness. Or if you're coming with me, we'll start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingertips, softly allowing that movement to grow. Maybe you take a full body stretch, fingertips all the way down to those toes. And then we're going to tuck our knees in towards our chest, wrap our arms around, give ourselves a nice big hug. Maybe rocking a little from side to side, finding a bit of gratitude for your body, for everything it did for you today. Rocking onto whichever side feels most appropriate for you. Eventually, we'll meet in a seated position at the top of our mat. Closing our practice together today exactly how we started, with a clearing and collective breath. We're going to inhale, rise those arms high towards the sky. Lightly touch the palms, draw everything in as you exhale to your heart center. Bringing thumbs to third eye as we bow chin towards the chest. Always in gratitude and always in peace. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.